another update for the car today. We're actually going to work on replacing the mud flaps that I had to take off of the front, and I think once we get around to it, we'll take the ones that I have on the rear and replace those as well. I'll show you guys what I got. So you can see right now there's nothing on the front here, so we're going to fix that problem. But on the rears, we had modified these to actually fit with the splitter. I could just leave them, or I could replace those with the new ones that I got to match the front. I think these are gonna look really nice when they're on there. So I'm just kind of ballparking where I'm gonna want this. We're gonna take some measurements, figure out where it's gonna look best. I'll probably end up having like a little bit of poke, you know, towards the top there, just to kind of keep that stuff from splashing up. Now we're just going to use the one as a template to drill the other one real quick. Just got the first one on. I think that ought to do numbers side of the car, because we didn't have any flaps on there before. So now we're just figuring out how we want to fasten it here. We have these two and it's perfectly in line, nice and level, and the back, we just have to get something, you know, in this rear corner to keep it from sticking out like that. If we just have one going into the fender liner right here, I think it'll be perfectly secure. So here's what I picked up. I think this ought to cover it. I've got small ones here. These should work for the front. We basically have to clip the mud flap into the plastic part of the fender liner. We have a little bit more clearance on the back because the setup's different, but these bigger ones I think should work good to clip the back. Show you this now because it's going to be really hard to film. We've got a hole drilled right here through this piece and this piece, but not the metal, just the plastic there. So we're going to put that piece in, screw it in so it pinches those two pieces together right here. So I'm just showing you that now because I'm probably not going to be able to, you know, get a clean angle of that while I'm doing it. It's pretty intricate. Alright, so we got this in. It was pretty tough, honestly, to get it fitting in there. It's like super small and it keeps popping out as you're trying to get it, but there you go. Push pin on that side so the whole mud flap is held nice and tight. So we're just going to duplicate that same thing on the other. So we've got it on here. It's held pretty well. It can rattle, like, I don't know if it's going to rattle when driving, so I think we're just going to put an extra screw maybe right into this piece to just hold the bottom nice and secure. That way the whole thing is just pretty rock solid here. So we got the fronts done. It'll look a little different once it's on the ground, but you can see how they turned out right here. And so now I just got to pull the rear wheels off so that we can start working on that. Got the rear on here. Actually 3 mounting points on this one because the stock fender liner actually had 3 bolts going in here, so there's a little extra security. Now just for a little additional security, we're just going to use those clamps that we got to fasten through this part here and through this part, and it'll just kind of cinch that together so it's nice and tight. All right, got them done. So here's the final product. That's how the front's turned out. And the rears. So the reason I wanted to get this on, as you can see, it's a perfect time to take this video. All the splash up from driving on wet roads, you can see all that stuff from the water that comes up and gets all over the side of the car here. So now that I have these a little bit wider, it should kind of protect that paint a little bit. So the next time I wash the car, hopefully it'll stay a little bit cleaner.